Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from Banchon City in Rayong, Thailand. Hope you enjoy the view. This is Triple T, your humble host of the OPENMICPHALA Thailand YouTube channel. Appreciate you joining. Out early this morning. Already had my fill of coffee. So I thought I'd try to get a different perspective on the sunrise here on the eastern seaboard of the Gulf of Thailand. This time of year, the sunrise is truly kind of in the northeast, so it's not a coastal sunrise at this point. You can see it's basically going to come up over the saddle of those two hills in the distance. But Banchon City is a beautiful city. We love it here. We chose to relocate to Banchon after living in Thailand for 4 years, traveling all over this country and looking at various different places. We really wanted to live by the sea, and we had taken some vacations down here to Banchon and just kind of fell in love with it. So we chose to move here. We've been here since September 2019, and we love it. So it'll be 2 years here in Banchon. We're in the Phala sub-district, just south of here, towards the beach. But yeah, we just love this city, and it's a smart city, digital city, expanding, growing city. Lots of new infrastructure, roads, bridges, airports, high-speed rail, lots of things happening in this area. So hope you enjoy the sunrise. Let me shut up a little bit, let you listen to the sounds of the city early morning at dawn. Good morning, Sue Rowan. Good morning, Card Park, Arizona. Good morning. Thanks for coming in, guys. If you haven't received a notification, some people choose to not click the notification bell on YouTube just because it can be a little intrusive of getting notices every time somebody puts out a video. So, but there will be a premiere video tonight, Thailand time. This is Saturday morning here in the Kingdom of Thailand. So tonight at 7 p.m. prime time in Thailand. So that'll be 7 a.m. Central Standard Time in the United States on Saturday morning. It's a pretty cool motor vlog out here in the hills of Rayong. So I think you'll enjoy it. Tune in for the premiere in basically kind of 12 hours from now or so, right? So, but anyway, appreciate you guys joining. Hope you enjoy the sunrise. Good morning, Jeff Johnson. Talk to you. Good morning. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Robert, Johnky, good morning. Robert, thank you for coming in. I'll give you guys a little bit of a 360 of our viewing location here this morning. So we are right in the heart of Banchon City. That is Sukhumvit Road right there, which is Highway 3, the major thoroughfare through Banchon on into Rayong City and then back west towards Utapao Airport. You're looking kind of northeast there. Eastbound, turning southbound. I can see the ocean, but I probably can't see it. We're on the wide angle with the GoPro, so you may not be able to see it. But you can see a lot of what looks like tall city buildings with the lights flashing over there. That's the MIC industrial area, which is located in between Banchon here and Rayong City. But MIC is like a city of its own. It's huge. You can check it out on Google Earth if you'd like to, or Google Maps, either way. It's a huge industrial complex, guys. Lots of factories, oil and gas refineries, but many different types of factories there. But these hills that start right in here continue on, and just beautiful countryside all out to the north of Banchon City here. And that's where I went for a cruise on some country roads for you. I think you'll enjoy the motor vlog. If you don't like fast speed and rock and roll, you may not like it, but if you're not opposed to either one of those, you'll probably really enjoy the views of the countryside out there. Pineapple fields, just incredible, guys. Really beautiful. Lots of forest here, natural forest hills, and then there's also a lot of planted forestry like the rubber trees and the eucalyptus. And then there's tons of fruit farms here in Rayong province. Many of these fruit farms are geared towards domestic tourism and international tourism, back when that used to exist. But yeah, you can take guided tours through the fruit farm, see all of the trees of the different tropical fruits, and then they have like a fruit buffet and everything you can partake in. They usually have a tractor that pulls some trailers with hay bales. A really nice experience. Unfortunately, a lot of those kind of places are just not getting any foot traffic from people, right? Domestic tourism is really low currently here in Thailand with the situation we got going on. You know, I'm not going to broadcast any news on this channel because I know you guys can find your own news sources. I recommend the CCSA daily briefings in English if you really want to know what's going on with all the different projects. Of course, they do have the Sandbox project over in Phuket, supposed to kick off on 1st of July to welcome vaccinated tourists. But once again, I'm not going to weigh in too much on it. It's not in my region, and we'll just have to see how things develop. But I know that prior to April 2021, there was still a lot of domestic tourism. I mean, you got to consider Bangkok is a city of about 12 million, and a lot of middle to upper class people in Bangkok, and they escape the city every chance they get, right? There's a lot of Buddhist holidays in Thailand, so they end up with a lot of 3- and 4-day weekends and stuff like that. So you get a lot of domestic tourism over here into the eastern region. We're only about an hour and a half outside of Bangkok on the brand new Motorway 7, so it's pretty convenient for people to escape the big city and come over here and enjoy the beaches of Rayong, the jungles, the waterfalls, the fruit farms, and all the amazing stops out here. But it's just probably the lowest I've ever seen it. I think it's just because the numbers are pretty high in the capital, and you know, they haven't issued a lockdown per se of Bangkok and those certain provinces that have the highest numbers. You know, they've been talking about doing that, but obviously, you know, they don't want any additional economic impact, negative impacts on the economy. So I don't know what'll become of it, but nevertheless, you just don't see the domestic tourist out of Bangkok traveling that much. So it's kind of unfortunate that a lot of these businesses depend on that, right? I mean, they're geared towards tourism. Amazing, beautiful stops, and you'll see some of that in tonight's premiere motor vlog. But I think it's, if you watch other YouTube channels here in Thailand from different regions, from the north, northeast, south, east, central, wherever you're tuning in, you probably see kind of the same thing. A lot of these beautiful spots that really are dependent on tourism, and a lot of them really were never dependent on international tourism per se, because they're kind of off the beaten path. But you know, they're all on the Google map. Beautiful must stop and see kind of places, tons of resorts. You know, I'm talking about traveling the provincial areas of Thailand. Always been popular with domestic tourism. But right now, guys, I mean, I gotta say, I've been here through all of it, going back to March 26, 2020, when the original national emergency decree was declared. I've been here every day since, and I've seen a lot. And now having a business here, I can really kind of get a feel of what's going on. And I'm telling you that right now, currently in Thailand, is really devastating for a lot of businesses. It's just unfortunate. I mean, as a local, we try to get out and enjoy some things, and you know, participate in commerce with these different businesses. Great businesses, whether it's roadside cafes or just, there's just amazing stuff to stop and see. We've got a lot to learn about Rayong province, you know, being here almost 2 years, but it's such a big province, so much to see, so much to enjoy. But a friend of mine and his wife, they went down east, traveling along the coast here, east of Rayong City, out to the beaches near Banchon, which is the island of Koh Samet out there. And then you go on east of Banchon and you have Hat Suan Son and Hat Mai Pim. Beautiful beaches. They said the same thing. There's just nobody there. You know, you can see 2-3 kilometers of beach with just absolutely nobody there. But at the same time, here in Rayong, the restrictions are not quite as strict. So all of our beaches, all the vendors are, you know, open. Beach chairs, umbrellas, you know, even having a cold beer on the beach, I don't think is a big issue in a lot of these beaches down here in Rayong, you know. But it's just such a major impact with no domestic tourism. And there is a lot of expats all over Rayong province because of the beaches. But even a lot of them, you know, have been struggling. And I think there's, from what I hear, there's a lot of condos and stuff for sale that just unbelievable prices, guys. I mean, we're talking condos down at Mai Pim Beach, one of the most popular beaches in Rayong province. Very well known internationally for retired expats and such. Just a beautiful area to live. The closest city to Mai Pim would be a city called Chang, but it's, you know, it's got all you need, and it's not far away. And then Banpei's got quite a bit to offer. So that whole region out there, I mean, beautiful hillsides, beautiful beaches. I mean, there's condos for sale, from what I hear, sea view condos, right, for like 1.1 million baht. I mean, that's a little over maybe $32,000 for, I mean, so these are things that are all happening because of the current third wave, you know. That's really, the numbers are higher since April 2021 to now, here almost to July. The numbers are much higher than what they were the previous, you know, 13-14 months of this pandemic. So it's definitely having an effect. And you you know, we're staying positive at the open mic. We're very fortunate that we have something very unique, which is homemade American breakfast, and that's all we are, guys. I mean, we're staying open till 3 p.m. Most days, 6 days a week, right? Because we do have customers that come in and eat late, and we have some lunch specials and whatnot, but there's really no sense in trying to add additional things to the menu, or, you know, obviously the nightclub's not coming back for a while. We're an entertainment, karaoke, live music kind of bar, so that's going to be the last thing to be allowed to open. So we're just focused on the restaurant, and we're very fortunate. We've established a really good local customer base. There's a lot of expats here in Banchon, and we've been getting quite a few expats coming out of Pattaya City and up in Chonburi, you know, from Bang Saray to Jomp Tiem to Satahip. A lot of those people are coming, and then we've had others come from Isan, come down from Buriram, right? Yeah, so we're doing well, but at the same time, it's just impossible to, you know, plan any kind of, let's say if we want to do a big Sunday buffet, or, you know, do an event for July 4th or something like that. It's just impossible, to be honest with you. I mean, there's just no sense in it. It's kind of like, you know, just keep the low overhead. We're fortunate enough we've been able to keep our staff on full time, right, with just a breakfast restaurant. But, you know, I can sympathize with all the business owners that don't have the option of, you know, operating a restaurant, and they're strictly entertainment, you know, alcohol and nightclub atmosphere. I mean, they're just, from what we're hearing, it could be October before entertainment areas are allowed to reopen. So that's pretty devastating, you know, and a lot of people had a lot of invested for years, you know, in the nightlife entertainment districts. And so again, we feel very fortunate. I always think about the plight of others and then compare it to our situation, and we're very, very fortunate. And again, just, I mean, when you guys come, when any of you can come, you'll just be amazed at this province and all the things that are just so cool to stop and see. I mean, you could spend a day and not cover hardly any of it, but you still have a grand time and see all kinds of different stuff. But most of, like, the fruit farms and stuff, they're just understaffed, right? They cut their staff down to very minimal amount of people. It's hard to just keep up with the upkeep, you know, of the farms, and keeping all the grass cut, and, you know what I mean, just keeping the grounds looking good, let alone have enough staff to be there to welcome customers and give them tours. I mean, most of that stuff is just not happening at all. And these are, like I say, these are very well-known, popular domestic tourist stops here in Rayong. So, you know, I really feel for all those businesses and the resorts. A friend of mine, Ross in Rayong's got a resort over here, right? I'm sure they're struggling. I mean, without the domestic travelers, I mean, it's just, there's just no way to predict any source of income or profit. I think most people are just very, very low staff and kind of trying to wait this deal out. So all we can do is hope for improved case numbers, and obviously the population getting more and more of the jabs. I think their own goal to try to inoculate 70% of the population here in Thailand, including foreign expats. So, you know, they're doing all they can, but to be honest with you, I think this third wave really here in Southeast Asia caught a lot of people off guard and by surprise, because they've done so well with the original you know, strains. But now there's a lot of variants, as they say, and you know, people are scared. And we've had a few positive cases that were in the news here locally over here to Montaput area. And again, there's thousands of people employed over here, tons of commercial industry, factories, you name it, right? So that's, you know, a little worrisome, because a lot of those people live in Banchon and eat at the restaurants and go to markets. And speaking of markets, I don't know whether some of you have heard, but over here at Satahip, which is not far at all, right? On the other side of Utapao Airport, they had a big market there. It got shut out. We do have some air traffic over here at Utapao Airport. You can hear one now, but it's pretty much all military aircraft. But anyway, so I guess it was a pretty big cluster, you might say, at the market in Satahip. And I mean, we have those same style markets here in Banchon City, right? Just huge tent canopies and vendors of every kind. And the thing about those style markets, a lot of those vendors that make their living selling whatever product they're selling, they travel from market to market, right? Because different markets will be open at different days of the week and that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's a little worrisome locally here at the moment. And, you know, there was at one stage in the young history of our business at the OPENMIC PHALA where we were prohibited from dine-in. We had to go to takeout and delivery only. So that actually has already happened to us. Now, that was just as the restaurant, the nightclub, was completely shut at the time. So, you know, there's a possibility, depending on how the numbers go, right, that we might end up restricted again, even on the restaurant. We're hoping that doesn't happen because, you know, 99.9% of our business is dine-in. We do have customers that will order takeaway, right? And we deliver locally to the hotels and stuff in the area of Pala, but we're prepared for anything like that that might happen. So I thought I'd kind of give you guys updates on that. And once again, I don't really like to get into all the numbers and stuff like that. I'm just kind of telling you what's going on locally. And the thing about Rayong, there's really not any English news source covering Rayong. There's a lot of English news out of Pattaya, and every once in a while they'll cover, you know, what's going on in Rayong briefly. But to get the real details about what's going on in our area and maybe restrictions that might be coming or something like that, we communicate with our local Tesaban. And then my wife follows the Facebook group that is basically just that. It's local Tesabans, Rayong City governor, you know, it's all government news postings, and of course it's all in Thai, right? So, but she'll give me the latest numbers, you know, what's going on in Rayong just from reading. And, you know, again, that's not Rumorville or Grapevine kind of Facebook group. It's an actual government news posting Facebook group that a lot of Thai people follow. So I try to, you know, get with her Nam Yen every day and see what the latest news is out of our area. I know we do have some new case counts here in Banchon itself, so, you know, that's basically all you can do. We certainly don't sit around and worry about it, but at this point, Nam Yen and I, we won't be going to any markets. You know what I mean? It's kind of back, feels similar to what it felt like in April 2020 when, you know, people went and bought bulk items and stocked up at home. And stay home, right? Stay home, stay safe. I think that was kind of the motto at the time, right? So it kind of feels like that again. I think a lot of people are staying home, and again, we just feel really fortunate that we've established a good customer base at the breakfast restaurant. And so we still have enough you know, regular customers and new customers frequently that, you know, are carrying the place. It's breaking even. You know, I'm not having to spend money out of my pension funds or anything to keep the business operation going. So that's a good position to be in, really, at this point. Paying salaries, paying rent, paying utilities, that kind of thing, restocking food, right? Of course, we haven't bought any alcohol or restocked any alcohol in a long time. So anyway, that kind of gives you guys the updates. Looks like we got some pretty heavy clouds. It's dampering our beautiful sunrise a little bit, but nevertheless gives you a bird's eye view of Banchon. And I can't really circle around and do a 360 too much because there's no view behind us. But let me check in with the chat here real quick. I just try to when I wake up way early, like I woke up at 4, finished drinking coffee by 5, talked to my daughters on the phone. They just got a package delivered of open mic t-shirts So my daughters all have the t-shirts now, so they're really excited about that. Once I kind of do that stuff, then sometimes I'll just be like, hey, I'm gonna go watch the sunrise. Where do I want to go, right? And I'd never really come up here in the bird's eye view of Banchon City, so I thought, why not, and bring you guys along. So you know me, it's always a spontaneous, unplanned live stream, but I appreciate you guys watching. I hope the video quality is decent. There is a lot, you know, when I talk about the economic impact on retail businesses of all kinds, right? Restaurants, fruit farms, resorts, right? That kind of stuff. Customer service industry has really had a severe impact on this third wave. But at the same time, the construction around this area is incredible. I mean, there's new hotels, new housing, new roads, so they haven't missed a beat as far as infrastructure and plans for the future. This is the part of the Eastern Economic Corridor here in the eastern region of Thailand. Thailand's 4.0 economic initiative, right? So there's long-term plans that have been on the books for a long time, and that is continuing. If anything else, the construction around here is ramped up. They're redoing Sukhumvit Road now through Banchon. They've already got it finished out at Rayong City. Sukhumvit Road's really complete out there. I think it's almost complete back towards Utapao Airport. There's a big intersection there at Satahip. They're still working on that. But I mean, everywhere you go, guys, you got brand new, wide, smooth roads. You know what I mean? All over this area. So, and like I say, the expansion of the airport, the high-speed rail, the brand new motorway that just opened up. So it's kind of a two-sided coin. You know, you think about the impacts on all of the retail customer service type businesses, but anyone in the construction business, I think, is doing really well, to be honest with you. There's a lot of new gated communities in this area of Banchon. I mean, they're scattered all over here. They call them Muban, which basically just means a gated community, right? Mubans. There's tons of them, and they're big, beautiful new homes, right? Expensive homes. And you've seen a few of the real estate for sale on the channel with the live home tours and stuff, but there's tons that I haven't shown, right? And I do have some motor vlog footage coming up of just cruising around Banchon City here. Got quite a few followers of the channel that have either lived in Banchon years ago, right? Got a lot of connection, know the city well, know the whole region well, or they vacation here multiple times. So I get a lot of feedback from those kind of people. Say, hey, thank you for showing me Banchon, I miss it, blah blah, right? So that's why I kind of wanted to do some city tours as well. So already got some motor vlog footage. You know, try to space them apart. Got the Lost in Rayong province motor vlog coming up tonight, but then I'll have another one of Banchon City. And again, this is like a project for me, like a hobby, right? Like a hobby, right? You can see, I mean, what else is there to do? I mean, I'm not needed at the restaurant. You guys know that. The Triple M's have got that shit covered, right? So I'm not really needed there. I'm not teaching. I've done a lot of virtual online teaching before, but I'm just not doing that right now. I'm just not interested in doing it. I could if I wanted to, but I don't need the income. And I just, you know, I did it for about 3 years straight. And then with the academy that I'm still closely connected to, the Royal Thai Army Academy up in Nakhon Nayok, I talked to my director of the Foreign Language Department, Colonel Noong, and you know, I'm going to go up there and visit with him and stuff, but you know, it's just, there's a lot of downtime, right? There's a lot of downtime. So what better way to kind of fill the gaps, keep your mind busy? I enjoy making the videos. The new premiere motor vlog was coming tonight, Bangkok time, 7 p.m. tonight on Saturday. Spent about 3 days editing the footage, right? To try to make it something really nice for people to tune in and watch. So, you know, it doesn't matter to me if I get 100 views on a video. I think of that as like 100 seats in a theater. 100 people are sitting down and watching the video. That's good enough for me. And one good comment is like, hey, thanks for the video, really enjoyed it, lovely video. The little video I made where Nam Yin and I took a cruise to Phala Beach the other day, right? I mean, that makes it worthwhile for me to keep making the videos. And at the same time, busy hands are happy hands, right? So it does give me something to do while I'm out seeing new things here in Rayong, to grab some footage and bring you guys along. So anyway, and you know that the host can surely ramble on this channel, pretty obvious, but hopefully it's, you know, it's somewhat informative, and people get some value out of watching the videos. It's about all a person could ask for when they create a YouTube channel, is people are enjoying it, and at the same time you kind of provide them some current, up-to-date information. Oh, whatever. Thanks for coming in, whatever. Also, you guys rock, man. Oh, it's up to you. Are you dealing with some super fans? Don't worry about it. Unknown, ha ha ha. Hey, thanks for coming in, Unknown. Robert H, hello Triple T and everyone in the chat from Michigan, USA. Raining like crazy here right now and projected to last until next Saturday. Bummer. Well, rainy summer in Michigan, hey? Well, thanks for coming in, Robert. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for Bob Seeger and Kid Rock and so many others. God, Michigan's awesome. Got a brother up there in Cadillac, Robert. My brother Cliff's up there in Cadillac. He's originally Oklahoma boy, northeast Oklahoma, but got him a new lady and a new baby, and they're up there in Cadillac. He really loves it. Loves it. Too late for coffee, Jeff Johnson says. Having some Canadian whiskey. What's wrong with that, Jeff? I think you earned that, working man. Good point, Tough to you. I'm backing up through the chat here, guys. I think it really would be good for anyone to spend some time in the East and experience, especially the Buddhist culture. I know it's changed me a lot. I've got a lot more patience, because basically you have to. If you don't learn how to be sabai, as they say in Thailand, which is just chill out, relax, don't worry kind of thing, you have to apply that daily with your interactions, you know, whether you're at the bank or at the mall, or right, because that's just the way it is here. There's no sense in getting impatient and frustrated and, oh, I don't understand. And so it is a cultural education, right? I don't know how I would have ever experienced that daily lifestyle if I hadn't came to Thailand. You know what I mean? I just never, it's not a thought process in America to oh wait, oh yeah, I forgot, you know, don't be impatient, don't worry about who, when, where, what, why, don't worry about the itinerary for the day. I mean, even when we go on holiday and vacation in America, we got these itineraries, right? We hardly ever just go with the flow and don't get upset and don't worry about not understanding, you know. But that's really the biggest lesson that I've learned about living here. Of course, there's so many things under the umbrella of culture, right? Cultural aspects of different areas of the world. Huge umbrella, right? Whether it's music or arts or, you know, just so many different things. But being an English teacher here for 2 years in the government high schools, and then 2 years with the Royal Thai Academy, with the, you know, the best, smartest cadets in this country, really got me assimilated, gave me a purpose. I felt like I'm really contributing, really rewarding, self-rewarding, not salary-wise, but very rewarding, you know. And those are the kind of things that you know, I talk to my daughters a lot back home. It changes you as a person, I think, for the better. Not that their culture's right and the Western culture is wrong. It's not about who's right or wrong. We just live a very fast-paced, impatient, frustration, right? A lot of unnecessary stress that we bring on ourselves a lot. That's kind of typical lifestyle in the West, right? Even in the small towns, rural areas, you know, people generally don't have sabai sabai in their blood, and they do here. And like I say, it's a wonderful thing. I think it adds a lot of humility to people. You know, when you get a 4-year-old walks in a room and has a better vocabulary than you do, that's pretty humiliating, right? But you know, that's the way it is with language, right? And then the reverse side of that, tough to you get a lot of Western privilege kind of people that come over here. And look, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying it's, you know, there is such a thing, right? You know, they think Thai people are stupid because they don't speak any English or blah blah blah, right? You know what I mean? So it's kind of that narrow-minded, you know, haven't really traveled or lived. You know, it's one thing to travel and be a tourist and pop in and out places a couple of weeks at a time, say, oh yeah, I've been here, I've been there, but until you actually live there for an extended period of time, you know, it's hard to really adjust and basically assimilate, right? Assimilate is what you should do if you're going to move to a country, become a permanent resident, right? Or an immigrant, whatever you want to call it. Then it's on the immigrant to kind of assimilate. It's not on us to criticize and say, oh, I don't understand why Thailand does this and that, and right? So I appreciate that comment, because it really, oh, Carl's Thailand's in the house. There you go. So a guy like Carl, man, I love watching his stuff because he's got so much experience in Thailand. He's also fluent in Thai. And look, he's got pros and cons of Thailand. You know, none of us are like flag waving, you know, zealots here. I mean, we see the good and bad, right? But we obviously chose to be here, right? Nobody was brought here on a slave ship, right? So there's no sense in sitting around complaining about the very few things that maybe you don't like about the Thai culture or the Thai lifestyle or whatever. There's so many positives, you know? So guys, if you haven't subscribed to Carl's Thailand, man, please do. I'm telling you, you know that I've promoted a lot of different channels. Carl's channel is going to be way bigger than mine. He's just phenomenal, guys, and he brings Thailand to people in a way that's very informative and also very entertaining. And you don't see a lot of what Carl's doing. You don't see a lot of it on YouTube. And that's, I mean, respect to you, Carl. Great stuff, man. Unknown says, I learned patience living in Turkey and Italy. What I really got from Thailand was the importance of face. Yeah, that's true, man. And, you know, a lot of people describe that different way. Hey, there's Ross in Rayong. I was just talking about you earlier, Ross. I hope everything's okay at the resort, brother. I've been doing some traveling around, and, man, it's bleak. It's bleak on domestic tourism. I hope you're doing well, Ross. But, you know, a lot of Westerners criticize the whole losing face culture. But I think it's a very complex issue. I don't know. In my experience, almost 6 years full-time here in Thailand, you know, pre-COVID, everything. You go to the big malls, you go to the, you know, the kids' play zones, right? And there's just, you don't, and that's kind of under that, you know, that losing face thing. It's about, you know, in America, just to be, you know, where I'm from, Kansas City, we kind of speak, you know, bluntly, like, don't show your ass in public. That's how we would say it, right? Well, I mean, how many people in the United States ever even think about that, right? It's very common for people to show their ass in public, right? You know, whether it's kids misbehaving, and, you know, it's just, it can be a little chaotic, right? If you're just people watching, you know, at any random 7-Eleven in Kansas City, my hometown, you're going to see some real odd characters. You're going to see some really embarrassing shit, right? People that you wouldn't want to be hanging out with, because that's what, to me, now Carl probably could explain this much better, but to me, the whole losing face is, you know, it's not just you and your actions, but anyone you're with. You know, if you're with a group of people and you got one of these people with you just thinks they're, you know, all that in a bag of chips and they know everything and Thai people are stupid and blah, they're going to do something that's very embarrassing. Well, that causes you to lose face too, right? Because you're with them. So it's, to me, it's very important to understand it for what it is, you know. like I say, there's good and bad, you know, agree, disagree with different things here in Thailand. You know, I try to stay on the positive side of things because my life has gotten better and better and better every year since I've moved to Thailand. So it's hard for me to complain about what little negatives there are out there. But I tell you what, Unknown, you hit the nail on the head about the face thing. And I know that's, you know, pretty common in a lot of Asian countries. But here in Thailand, yeah, it's really important. So, you know, it's just, it's kind of how you carry yourself. You know, you don't want to be seen in a bad light. And now Carl can probably tell you that a lot of Thai people, you know, take that losing face to a fault, right? Where if they're wrong and they know they're wrong, and if they corrected what they were doing, it would benefit others, right? Like change for the benefit of improvement kind of thing. You know, they can be pretty stubborn-headed about it, right? Because they're worried about losing face. Wait a minute, I have to admit the way I've been doing something is wrong. You'll run into this in formal settings. I ran into it as, you know, a professional teacher here in Thailand. So you'll run into the other end, the part of losing face that we probably don't really agree with, right? It's like, look, you know, you got to admit you're wrong, man, and move on. But a lot of it's embedded in the professional ranks, you know, in the business world here in Thailand. Instead of having an evaluation meeting and everybody kind of, you know, getting on the same page and, yeah, you're right, I've been doing, you know, XYZ and I need to improve. And you kind of have to admit fault, right? So that can be a little bit of a sticking point, I think, with Thai people and the losing face. But you know, I'd say the overwhelming majority of the losing face is just how you carry yourself. There's always that sense of awareness when you're in public, right? That you don't act like an idiot. You know, you're not rude, you don't shout, you don't use large hand gestures. All those kind of things are it's part of respect, right? Mutual respect is what I kind of look at the positive side of the face culture here in Thailand. Sorry guys, I haven't been following chat for crap. Wow, we got 26 people watching. Thank you very much. DT's in the house. Thanks, DT. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Yeah, it's my fault, DT. I don't often give any notices on these early morning live streams or anything. So if you're missing some of them and having to watch a playback, you know, I appreciate you watching the playbacks, and I try to leave the chat replay available for people to read the chat when they're watching the playback too. So yeah, Tyron's in the house. Show me who your friends are and I will show you who you are. Good point, Tyron. Exactly right. I like to hang around positive people. Oh, looky here, we got James C. Shannon. Mr. Shannon, I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming in. Let's see. Hello everyone, nice to see you. Triple T. How is Dan? Looking forward to meeting you all when I get to Thailand. Wish you all the best, inshallah. Thank you, James. Pretty awesome to see you in the live chat. I've been thinking about you. Dan is doing great. There's a couple of new short clip videos of Dan on the channel. One of them's got almost 3,000 views, just a little 50-second bit, but there are some longer videos of Triple D. He's doing great. He's staying at the open mic constantly, hasn't been disappearing, right? He still does a little roam around, sniffs the tires and roams the little neighborhood, but he's always there every morning. So he's doing well. Peter Thompson. My wife is Thai and she has some strange magic to cool me down. Peter, thanks for that comment. I tell you what, for all those guys out there that have Thai wives or Thai girlfriends, man, that is a check on us, right? It's a check on ego. It's a check on anytime we get too loud with our voices, and right, the constant reminder of where we're at. Thanks for that, Peter. Okay, here we go, guys. This is words of wisdom, guys, and trust me, I'm a little reluctant about referring people to other channels. You guys know I kind of disassociated with some people, and you know, it's neither here nor there, but I'm a follower of Carl's Thailand, and he says, for Westerners, face always seems to work against you. but it can work for you if you try to understand it. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. There's so much valuable information on his channel, guys. Really, 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 really is. I agree, Peter, says Jeff. Peter Thompson, very true. Ross and Rayong, Thailand will teach you how to be happy with the small things you have and enjoy the people in your life. Perfectly said, Ross. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I've kind of always considered myself a simple man, never been really big on materialistic things. But the lifestyle, just the everyday lifestyle. I mean, my wife and I love to go to temples, love to go to the beach. It's just simple, little, low budget stuff, right? But it's genuine happiness. There's no pretend in it, right? Contentment, fulfillment. I mean, all those things are a huge part of my life here in Thailand. They really, really are, guys. And look, I know I've had people say, what's the downside of living in Thailand, and really try to get me to come out and talk about, you know, the crazy traffic and the grab motorcycle and taxi motorcycles. Look, that just is what it is. To me, it's like there's no reason to have road rage, because you've already learned, like Carl said, you know, it's how you apply that, not losing faith. You want to have road rage and flip people off because no, you don't want to do that, do you? So it's just kind of an everyday thing. But you know, like Ross says, man, it's enjoy the people in your life, and that's never been more true. We got monks out for alms this morning. That's never been more true than the current situation that started in March 2020, right? I mean, we kind of all became tribal, did we not? I mean, you can't really affect any change anywhere except in your local community. I mean, you know, we just relegated to, you know, if you're going to have an impact, you're going to stay busy, you're going to have a purpose, it's going to be local, right? And so, you know, even like say domestic tourism is really curtailed right now. Not that you can't travel Thailand, you can, but you know, there's some risk involved, right? So I think even prior to the pandemic, a lot of people have that takeaway when they spend time over here, that it's all about the simple things and the people around you, and you know, just enjoy the simple everyday life. But after this situation, it's like even more pronounced, right? Amplified. That look, if you want to try to stay positive and not sit and watch, I don't watch any Western news, guys. I tell you, I just don't watch it. I can't get involved in all the politics and all that stuff. I mean, I stay tuned on current events. I'll watch like the headline news, but I can't get into the opinionated stuff. And as an immigrant, a guest here in this country, I definitely don't weigh in on their politics and their government at all. I don't feel like it's my place. Now, privately with friends, sure, we'll discuss things going on in Thailand, but still, I mean, it like Ross said, it all comes down to, you know, be happy with the small things and enjoy the people around you. New camera looks good. I love your videos, Carl. Excellent stuff. Jeff says, I've been to my share of countries, but Thailand just changed me. Thanks for that, Jeff. You guys rock, man. I have been here over 6 years. I never know what day it is, as the days of the week only matter when it comes to knowing what open market is open. That's awesome, Ross. I'm kind of the same way. I lose track of days all the time. I really, really do. Yeah. What day is it? It's a good thing, though. But look, I appreciate all you guys. How long we've been streaming here? Probably long enough to get close to a hot camera and a battery dying. Unknown says, at Open Mic Thailand, I learned patience living in... Oh, okay, got that one from earlier. Robert H. Spent some time in Cadillac, had a customer there. Cadillac products, small world, eh? Very small world, Robert. Whatever. 116, thanks for coming in, whatever. Hope I haven't missed anybody. Trying to catch up. Looks like I pretty much covered everybody. All right, guys, I apologize if I missed anybody's great comments. Thai people think about family, to be together forever. This is very different from Denmark. Thank you for that, Peter. Boy, that's true, man. I compare the Thai culture when I'm explaining to Americans a lot like the Hispanic culture, because we're very familiar with Hispanic culture, right, in Central and South America. And yeah, it's all about the family now, for sure. There's not enough government assistance or social security system to take care of the elderly. It's all the family that takes care of the elderly. It's kind of like the kids grow up, they're taken care of by their parents for 18 years, right? Paying their way through school and buying their lunches and uniforms and everything they need. And then after they, you know, get over the age of 18 and graduate from high school, where they go to university or go straight into work, from that point on, they're committed to taking care of their parents. Now, a lot of the parents are more middle class and affluent and don't really need, but it's still the same mindset. I mean, they're caregivers, right? I mean, I don't know how many Thai ladies go to work in Bangkok from all different regions of Thailand, but I guarantee you, something happens to mom and dad or an uncle or an aunt or something back home, they're gone, man. They're going back home to take care of them, you know? That's the way it works here. Thanks, Peter. There's Carl's Thailand. Thanks for the link, Jeff Johnson. Guys, please, if you're watching the playback, check out Carl's Thailand. You won't be disappointed, man. You won't be disappointed. And you'll get honest truth. I mean, Carl talks about his experience with Khun Thai people of different levels, you know. The normal, simple, everyday Thai people that most of us interact with, and then the upper class, the high so's, you know, the different things. And I think it's really a good perspective. I mean, obviously he has respect for Thai people in Thailand, but he's brutally honest about some of his experiences. And when you can speak fluent Thai and understand your listening skills fluent as well, you know, you're going to know a lot more about what Thai people think than us that don't have that language skill, right? Great channel, guys. It's going to be an amazing channel, I predict. TTT, here's the downside of living here. You are always a guest. Even guests can overstay their welcome. Well, that's true to a point, Ross, but I'm fixing to apply for my permanent resident status, so technically I won't be a guest anymore. I'll be a permanent resident. I'll have a blue book, a blue Tommy and Bond, right? So, you know, you can only get that after being on the same visa for 4 years, and it's based on your contributions to the kingdom, and they only give out 100 per year per nationality. So it's not an easy thing to do, but it is achievable. And then after you have permanent resident status for 10 years, so let's say I get permanent resident status by next year, and I've actually got it, and I don't have to extend my visas anymore or anything, right? I'm not technically a guest anymore, I'm a resident. Well, then I'll be 58 next year. So, you know, by 68, I could become a Thai citizen, have a Thai passport, the whole 9 yards. So there is ways, but I think it's what you're saying, Ross, is true, especially for people that overstep their bounds, disrespect this country publicly, do stuff that is, you know, defaming to Thailand, stuff like that. I think at any time it's obvious your visa status can be pulled, you can be deported, blacklisted. So there is that. But I think even if you never apply for permanent resident and you're just an immigrant, you're technically always a guest here. If you do things right and you contribute, you're never in jeopardy of not getting your visa extended. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I would ever be in jeopardy if I just stayed on the same non-O family visa that I'm on now. But it is true, Ross. I mean, we shouldn't have the same rights as Thai citizens, in my opinion. Right? It's kind of the way I feel about somebody that immigrates to my home country. Until they take that oath and become a citizen, their rights shouldn't be equal, right? But thanks for that. Ross and Rayong, if you're a good guest, you're always welcome. Basically what I was trying to say, Jeff. Thanks for that. It's up to you. I agree. It's like that here in Australia, but my family are important to me. Thanks for seeing, Ron. Appreciate it. You got that right, Triple T. I have all but stopped watching news. I read some, not much, sick of it all. Most of it just spin anyhow. I agree. James C. Shannon. Carl, let me know your channel and I will sub, inshallah. Okay, James. Yeah, Jeff put the link up there. Thank you, James. You'll really like it. Sue Rowan had some the other day. I could always put my dad in nursing home. I said, no, thank you. He's my dad. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Feels like family here at this little channel. Thank you, Tup, to you for that comment. It kind of touches me. I lost both my parents. I recently lost a brother. I also lost a grandson. These are difficult times we're living in, guys. Take care of your families. I'm going to close it out right here. Thank you for being family. Appreciate your support. The Open Mic PHALA Thailand. Have a great day.